So the perspective shift I encourage you to make is realize that self-doubt comes from a deeper lie, the lie that you're in full control. Here's the real truth. When you think you're in full control, you're putting your faith in you. And when things start shaking, pressure and people, performance, that faith in yourself starts to crumble, because you and I were never designed to be the one in full control. Again, only God is in control. So instead of trying to control your controllables, think about managing what you can manage. Big difference. Control is about ownership. Management is about stewardship. And last I checked, we're called to be stewards, not saviors.
This is Coming Up Clutch with JR, helping the world's best in sports, entertainment, and business make winning a lifestyle.
What's up? It's JR, and
it's time for the 5-minute drill.
I call this segment of the show the 5-minute drill because I give you a strategy that will take no longer than 5 minutes to implement. This is a proven strategy to help you come up clutch more often in at least one area of your life, leading you to more wins and positioning you to maximize your success and significance. I'm about helping you make winning a lifestyle, not a one-time thing. So, have you ever felt like no matter how hard you worked, no matter how much you prepared, or no matter how much success you've already had, you still wonder if you have what it takes? You ever caught yourself thinking, man, I don't know if I'm good enough for this? Or can I really pull this off? Or can I really come through here? Yeah, that's self-doubt, all right. And it's not just messing with your head. It's messing with your faith. Oh, yeah, I'm going there today. On a previous episode with Major League Baseball All-Star Shane Green, we talked about self-doubt, but I'm going to go even deeper today. So be encouraged. By the end of this episode, you're going to be able to flip the script on self-doubt by grounding your confidence in something unshakable. By the way, if you're a guy listening to this today, just a reminder that the application window for the Clutch Club, it's open. This is my elite strategy and mentorship premium membership that's designed to help you unleash your best everywhere, not just in your career, your home, your health, your marriage, everywhere. So if you want unprecedented access to world-class mentorship and training alongside a community of former athletes who cut through the BS and now compete as leaders and executives and entrepreneurs, if you want to feel unstoppable on whatever field of play you're on, then strike while the iron's hot and head on over to theclutchclub.com to check it out. A lot of amazing stuff happening inside this club. My club guys, they're going deeper with the strategies that we discuss on these podcast episodes, and it's helping them show up differently, especially when it matters most. So again, encourage you, go to theclutchclub.com and check it out. Trust me, you won't regret it. And before I forget, if you're empowered by the show and learning something, make sure you follow us on Apple Podcasts so you don't miss out when we drop new episodes. Just hit that purple plus on the top right-hand corner of the podcast app. When you do that, this podcast has the chance to get in the hands of more people that need it. So help someone out today. Make sure you're following the show. And speaking of helping out someone, share today's episode. Play that hero to your family, friends, and teammates by giving them the link to this or sending them to comingupclutch.com. And when you go and post about this episode on social, make sure to tag me. All right, 5-minute drill. Let's get it. So this drill came out of a private session I had with one of my Major League Baseball guys. We're mid-season. He hits a rough patch. Stats are sliding a little bit. His confidence is spiraling. And he says to me, shows up to a Zoom call. He says to me, JR, I don't know why, but I have all this doubt around my ability to get the job done, especially in big moments. So I let that sit for a second, as I do a lot of times in my private sessions. Clients say things and I just have this awkward pause, but it's strategic. Trust me. I learned this from one of my mentors who's he's one of the best coaches out there. And because look, here's a guy who did some serious hard work with me for the 4 months prior to this comment that he made some huge strides. So after the awkward pause, I said, look, I hear you, But let me hit you with some truth. When you doubt your abilities, you're actually doubting the one who gave you those abilities. Yes, I was referring to the one being God. And you could see the switch flip in this guy. His entire perspective shifted staring across the screen in the Zoom room. From that moment forward, he stopped gripping his career so tight. He stopped playing scared. He started showing up with more faith, not just in his ability, but in his assignment. He was living and competing with more freedom. And surprise, surprise, he finished the season strong. Basically flipped his stats across the board. His preparation hadn't changed. His paradigm did. So let me pause right here. Wouldn't you love to show up in your career and life with more faith and freedom? Yeah, I know your answer, but I'm asking this anyway. I want you to feel this question. Feel this question, because I know you take a life and a career with more faith and freedom. Man, you take that all day. Wouldn't you love to show up in your career and life with more faith and freedom? And if you're thinking, yeah, JR, but I still wrestle with this. I still doubt myself. I still have self-doubt a lot. Look, if that's you, you're not alone. I'm going to take you back. I've mentioned this before. Gideon. I've mentioned Gideon in this show before. Judges, verse 6:15. When the angel of the Lord shows up and calls Gideon a mighty warrior, Gideon's first response is doubt. He says, how can I save Israel? My clan is the weakest. I'm the least in my family. That translation, what Gideon said was, hey, God, you got the wrong guy here. You totally got the wrong guy, not me. But this is why I want you to be encouraged here. God didn't backpedal on this. He didn't hype up Gideon's resume. He just simply said in the next verse, I got you, my man. I got you. That's it. God wasn't calling Gideon because of Gideon's confidence. He was calling him to rely on God's presence, not Gideon's own strength. And still, Gideon struggled with doubt. He asked for signs twice. He wanted control before he gave God his trust. But here's the kicker. When Gideon finally leaned in and obeyed, he led 300 men to defeat an army of thousands. Not by his might, but by God's power. It wasn't until God stripped away Gideon's control that Gideon could step fully into his calling. I mean, I hope you caught that. God stripped away Gideon's control before he can lead him to victory. So if you're doubting yourself right now, remember Gideon. You don't need more signs. You don't need more control. You need more belief in the one who called you and equipped you to get the job done. Here's what I told my client, and I'm going to tell you right now. If you're putting in the work, if you're stewarding the gifts and the talents and the abilities God gave you, then doubting yourself is not a humility issue. Because that's the other thing I hear. I hear from guys, because I'll call people out when I hear doubt come from their mouth. And then a very normal response is, well, JR, man, I don't want to sound too confident. No, you're hiding behind some doubt. I hope you're picking up on this. This is a faith issue. This is not a humility issue. But the good news is today's drill, it's going to help you resolve the self-doubt issue when it comes up, because you're human. It's going to come up. So here's the drill, just 3 steps in this drill. So step 1 is when the self-doubt creeps in, let that be a trigger to ask yourself, are you doubting your ability or are you doubting the God who gave it to you? Step 2, shift from control to management. I'm big on this. I talk about your zone of management. I do not believe in the control your controllables phrase, only because of the word control. So I had to shift the words to manage. And when I talk about your zone of management, I talk about your mind, your heart, and your body. Ask yourself, how can you manage your mind, your heart, and your body better right now, in this moment? I know self-doubt's creeped in. How could you manage your mind, your heart, and body better right now? Manage what God gave you. Let him handle the rest. So again, step one, ask yourself the question, are you doubting your ability or the God who gave you your ability? Step two, ask yourself, how can I manage my mind, heart, and body better right now? Then the last step, step three, declare out loud. Declare it. God, I trust what you gave me is enough for this moment. And then you take a step forward. And many times, it's going to be a step in faith. Now, quick sidebar here. This may seem like a kumbaya episode, or just, JR's just getting real spiritual on us today. So actually, all three of these steps are scientifically sound. I'm not gonna share things that aren't rooted in scripture and science. I have to blend these two when it comes to human performance. This is at least human performance in my world. If you don't want to deal with both of those, then you're obviously not listening to the show, or you'll never be a client. Because I can't have human performance without scripture and science. I just can't. Step one, though, it taps into what neuroscientists call metacognition. It's essentially thinking about your thinking. This helps activate the rational part of your brain and break the loop of irrational emotional doubt. Step two reflects the concept of psychological flexibility, which research shows is a key driver of resilience. I've also had guests like Dr. Adam Wright and Dr. Nick Holton come on the show and talk about psychological flexibility and anti-fragility. When you manage what's yours, instead of trying to control what isn't, you stay calm, you stay focused. Step three, uses verbal self-affirmation, which has been proven to reduce stress, prime your nervous system, and strengthen your beliefs, especially when those affirmations are grounded in truth. Again, I am also not a big believer because there's a lot of self-help people out there that are just like, tell yourself you're the best, and tell yourself, give all your affirmations in the morning. Well, if you don't believe the affirmations, that's a problem. I can't go and say, JR, you're the best if not one bone in my body believes it. Now all I'm doing is creating more tension. So that's where affirmations don't work. Remember, if you're going to use affirmations, make sure they're grounded in truth. Okay, so the perspective shift I encourage you to make is realize that self-doubt comes from a deeper lie, the lie that you're in full control. Here's the real truth. When you think you're in full control, you're putting your faith in you. And when things start shaking, pressure and people, performance, that faith in yourself starts to crumble because you and I were never designed to be the one in full control. Again, only God is in control. So instead of trying to control your controllables, think about managing what you can manage. Big difference. Control is about ownership. Management is about stewardship. And last I checked, we're called to be stewards, not saviors. I even have this line that I share with my clients. The one who thinks he's in control is the one more likely to lose it. Sit on that for a minute. So stop chasing full control. It's a trap. Stop letting doubt make you passive. Instead, manage what God has given you, your time, your energy, your focus, your effort, your gifts, your talents, your skills. They haven't left you. They're in you. And you've prepared so hard to use them. Let doubt remind you, though, to double down on trust in the one who designed you and gave you all those gifts. Can you imagine someone giving you a gift that you've always wanted, but you never used it the way it was meant to be used? No way. God's given you so many gifts. Make the declaration right now that you're not going to let doubt get in the way of you using them. And just to drive home, this discussion, I want to drive it home just one last time. I want to share one of my favorite scripture verses that I recite every day. It's 2 Timothy 1:7. And it says, for the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline. Another translation is, for God has not given you a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline. You weren't wired for fear. Yes, our brains have a negativity bias and it's fight or flight. I get all that. But God didn't design us to live in fear. You were wired for courage and boldness because you were given the power. You were given love. You were given that spirit of self-discipline. But that, my friend, is this week's 5-minute drill. Ken, when I started seeing doubt as an attack on my God, not just my gifts, changed everything for me. Changed everything. I stopped trying to earn confidence and started standing in confidence. I want the same for you. So, again, to help you get momentum with this, my encouragement with you, as I do lately after all these 5-minute drills, take 30 to 60 seconds to visualize yourself executing this drill. So close your eyes, see yourself facing the moment that usually shakes you, that triggers the self-doubt, the meeting, the game, the conversation, whatever it is. Then picture yourself going through each of the 3 steps I gave you. Breathing deep, standing firm, and finishing strong by declaring, God, I trust what you gave me in this moment is enough. I was built for this. I trust what you gave me. So let's go. Lock this drill in before the day gets away from you. And like I mentioned before today's episode, if you're a guy who's looking to come up clutch more often for your family, for your team, then head on over to theclutchclub.com. Check out what we have for you. Trust me, you won't regret it. Till then, don't forget, winning isn't a result. It's a lifestyle, so keep pursuing that life of champions.
This episode is over. Get more No BS content to help you master your mind, body, and relationships by hitting subscribe. This is Coming Up Clutch with JR. Thanks for listening.